Hi everyone and welcome to Just Love. My name is Paula and I'm here with Judy. Hi Judy.
Hi Paula, hi everyone.
Today Judy would like to discuss a message that she read online recently and comment on it. So please go ahead and tell us what it's all about, Judy.
Okay Paula, it was a message supposedly channeled by the Nordics or Blonds of the Galactic Federation. In this message, the Greys were put down as being negative, and a time some years ago was referred to when these Blonds gave a warning to President Eisenhower about not making an alliance with the Greys because they were negative. Now, I know this organisation known as the Galactic Federation is quite well known, often in association with the so-called Ashtar Command, but I have doubts on its authenticity, especially when they come out with racist comments such as this. The only such organisation I've heard of is the Universal Governing Body, or simply the Star Council, of which the Greys are respected members. I'm not denying that there are tall, blonde, off-planet beings such as the Pleiadians and Lyrans who are visiting here. We work together with them up on the motherships, but it seems to me that the Nordics or Blonds who claim a connection with the Galactic Federation are from right here on Earth. These are the same ones who inspired Hitler and the Nazis through the Thule and Vril societies with their Aryan Ideal concept. They're the ones who trained Hitler in mind control. They're also the ones who contacted President Eisenhower to warn him of the negative Greys, when in fact they themselves are the negative ones who encourage cosmic racism amongst Earth-plane humanity. If any of these blonde Nordics make claims about the Greys being evil, you can be sure that they're the same ones who are right here on Earth. The genuine blondes, the Pleiadians and Lyrans, work side by side with the Greys in total love and companionship. I also suspect that these are the ones that connected with George Adamski, because their ship closely resembled the so-called Nazi Bell, built by the Nazi SS with help from the Green Dragons, a reptilian group based in Japan who were responsible for involving Japan in World War II.
Wow. Thanks for sharing your perspective, Judy. There's a lot to unpack there. You speak with a great deal of certainty about these subjects, so I'm genuinely curious. You appear to be presenting these statements as factual rather than speculative. So to better understand everything you've just said, may I ask how you come to know this information? Is it based on your own direct experience, like channeling, or historical documentation, or personal research, or another source?
Yes, Paula, it's based on several of these things. Firstly, on my own personal understanding from the grey side of my dual soul awareness, which includes working in complete compatibility with the Pleiadians and Lyrans up on our ships. I've also discussed it with other ET people I know down here who have come to the same conclusion. Then fairly recently I read about the Thule and Vril societies in Michael Fitzgerald's book entitled The Nazis and the Supernatural. This provided me with more validation. Maybe there is such a thing as the Galactic Federation. I'm not arguing that just because I haven't heard of it. There are heaps of things out there that I haven't heard of. Given the size of the universe and the millions of different cultures involved, that is quite possible. What I am picking up on very strongly is the level of cosmic racism involved in this concept, that only those ETs who look human in the Earth sense of the word are good, and that others such as the Greys who have a different appearance are evil. This is firmly based on the Aryan ideal of Nazism. In the article I read, this came across very strongly.
Are you referring to Michael Fitzgerald's book entitled The Nazis and the Supernatural, or the article that you read?
Yes, no, I'm referring to the article I read online. In actual fact, this story of negative Greys breaking an agreement with the United States government over abducting humans goes back quite a long time and has been badly twisted.
So where did you first hear this story?
I first read it quite some years ago in Michael Hessemann and Philip Mantle's book entitled Beyond Roswell. It's in connection with a time, I presume in the 1950s or thereabouts, when the Greys are said to have approached the United States government with a story that their race was dying out and that they needed genetic input from Earth humans in order to survive. It's claimed that a treaty was signed with the government giving the Greys permission to abduct Earth humans and harvest whatever was required in exchange for advanced technology. The Greys were supposed to work only with a restricted number of Earth humans, but the story goes that they broke the treaty and began a campaign of mass abductions, harvesting blood, glandular secretions, etc., from both humans and animals. It was also claimed that they intend to eventually invade and take over planet Earth. On page 117, Michael Hessemann and Philip Mantle's book describes how, in the 1970s or thereabouts, a person by the name of William Milton Cooper appeared on the scene. He made a very questionable claim that, having been in the Navy in 1971 as a quartermaster and having read material on the ETs, he'd been singled out to brief the commander of the Pacific Fleet, and that in order to be able to do this, he'd received all the necessary documents from Washington pertaining to ET contact. This was a ludicrous claim, but instead of being asked to produce evidence of this, he managed to carry on, speaking in front of overflowing auditoriums, obviously making a lot of money out of it, and elaborating and enhancing his story with each lecture that he gave. As the lectures progressed, the ETs suddenly became cosmic vampires who nourished themselves on the body fluids of humans and were preparing to take over Earth. William Milton Cooper also claimed that the United States government had aligned itself with them and had sold land and people to them in exchange for their technology. This seems to be where this story originated, as a money-making scheme by William Milton Cooper. From what I understand, Cooper would have been just a part of a much bigger disinformation campaign about the Greys that was being put in place earlier. It was actually humans who broke the agreement by starting up their own abduction program, now known as MyLabs, the military abductions. The genuine Greys backed right off when this started happening. The Greys had done the right thing in first approaching the government down here for permission to start up a hybrid program with Earth humans to help both humanity and a group of their own people. This was simply a way of showing respect to the Earth plane authorities. They didn't really need to do this, as Earth humans who take part in the genuine program only do so after making a pre-birth choice to be part of it. But the negative planetary controllers down here do not want the ETs coming here to help humans to wake up to what's really going on, so this was a perfect chance to start carrying out their own abduction and hybridization program, but doing it so that the genuine ETs would be blamed. Yes, I don't deny some people are undergoing very unpleasant and frightening abduction experiences involving rape, drugs, holographic imagery and cruelty. But this is MyLab stuff. It is not genuine.
Wow. Okay. So, Judy, I know that being a dual soul makes you very passionate about this. So, what advice or words of wisdom do you have to offer? Like, what else could you offer so that people can make up their own mind? Because beneath the crumbling of the old world, a deeper truth is quietly awaking. But like you say, the ETs don't want us to wake up. We're not becoming something new, we are remembering what has always been. So I'd like your thoughts, because this message could, for some people, be slightly disempowering, and your intention is to the contrary.
Yes, all I can say is people need to do their homework, read up on it, but at the same time be aware of the level of this information that's being put out. Dr. Stephen Greer is putting out a massive amount of very accurate information on this. I've recently put a great interview with him up on our Facebook page listed below. I'll also include the link to his talk below. Another excellent link is the Consciousness and Contact Research Institute, CCRI, with Rainerio Hernandez. It used to be known as FREE, Foundation for Research into Extraterrestrial Encounters. Its patron was the late Dr. Edgar Mitchell. They carried out a major survey quite a few years ago on contact with ETs, which proved that the majority of contact is highly positive. Ray Hernandez is offering books at no cost on spirituality and consciousness on his website. I know Ray personally and highly recommend his information. A link to CCRI is also listed below. Working through a dual soul consciousness, I'm fully aware of what the genuine Greys' agenda is and what they're about. I'm one of them when I'm up on the ship. I can assure everyone that we have no intention whatsoever of invading and taking over Earth. We're just here to help Earth-plane humanity wake up to the level of control and fear-mongering that has been going on down here right from the beginning of your era, as recorded in the Old Testament of your Bible.
Yes, there's a huge amount of disinformation being put out, especially about the Greys. So you do need to be very discriminating on what you link into as truth. So Judy has written all of her books from the perspective of her dual soul consciousness, including fully conscious memories of working up on the ships as a Grey. So if you'd like to read more about all of this, her books can be accessed from Amazon through her website listed below, and they are
Human by Day, Zeta by Night, followed by the Zeta Message, then Extraterrestrial Presence on Earth, Lessons in History, and my two most recent books, both Kindle editions, and both also available in German, An Interview with an Alien, Comments by an Undercover ET, and Cosmic Spirituality, Blending Religion and Science in Oneness from an Off-Planet Perspective.
Thank you so much, Jude, and thanks everyone for listening. Please share, like and subscribe, and sending you all much love, and bye for now.